Good morning. This is Rosemary, and this is the Lightwalker's Path by Rosemary, located in New Jersey. And it's a place to find your soul's purpose, to hear enlightening conversation, and meet wonderful, inspirational guests like today's guest, Lucia Cardona. And she is highly sought after transformational coach who empowers clients to reach the highest vision with context of love and joy. And her company is Clarity Coaching. And I want to tell you that I love what she does, and welcome to my show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here, Rosemary.
I loved your course. I was going to tell everybody because I'm going to give you some props for this. You offered this beautiful course after I met you in Edison, New Jersey. And I thought it was really empowering and helpful. And since I'm also, a life shifter and empowering coach to people, I loved your ideas of how you brought somebody through their desire into the next phase of what they needed. I thought that was really super cool. So
Thank
I
you.
wanted to just have a little chat with you today about
Yeah.
all you do. Okay.
Yes, certainly.
All right. So, first thing, I know that you've had a very interesting past as a performing art director and music educator. And I myself was a school teacher, so I know how like we could do a lot of different things. So tell me about that first part of your career. What did you love about it and what did you learn from it?
Sure. I like to say I came out of my mother's womb as a singer. I think I'd
Uh-huh.
known when I was a very young child. I want to say like three, four, and five, literally. When I opened my mouth to sing, I could feel God just come down, I just overwhelmed me. And I always knew that. And I would have these conversations literally with God. I was like, wow, this is so cool. And then as I got older, I used to say, all right, God, how am I supposed to make money singing? I didn't understand how to connect to.
Love that.
And kind of just trusted. And I was very fortunate to have a mother who was a very mystical woman. She was
Oh,
Catholic,
lovely. Uh-huh.
but very mystical. And
Mhm.
at some point, I think she struggled with her mysticism and
Yes.
the rules
And
and
the Catholic.
regulations,
Yes, yes.
of being Catholic. But she did teach me and my siblings very young our connection with our God in our breath and the power to visualize and to
Love
heal
it.
and to connect to spirit. So I grew up with that. And then I grew up with that understanding. And then every time I opened my mouth, I could literally feel the vibration and the frequency of God within me. And so I just knew that I was going to be in music and healing.
I'm getting
And
chillies.
off I went.
Yeah, this is it's so reminding of my own journey because as a child, I always knew a couple things. I knew I had to guide people. I knew I was here for a mission, and I knew I was a teacher. And what happened to me, like really young, is I would talk to God like you, and I would get this like kind of download or feeling that I was completely connected. And I
Yeah.
still have this when I channel angels, I still get this, and it's part of my mission. But I just, you just know in your heart, like when you have something, but you don't know how you're getting there, you just know it's something you have to do. So I
Right.
actually started out as a school teacher and then transitioned into healing work and angel communication later, and Reiki, which is, I've been using since 96. But yeah, so it's so cool to hear another person that had this kind of similar experience to mine. I love that.
Yes.
Yes, and I play piano. So you mainly do your voice, right? Is that your instrument or you also play instruments?
So singing is absolutely the number one instrument. I also play the piano, and I think like everybody else in the world, we did recorder in fourth and fifth grade, and
Yes, yes. Or the
the
comb,
chimes, and
the
and
triangle.
I do sound healing too, like the sound bowl, the
Okay.
chimes, and
Okay.
that doesn't require training or it just requires an intuition of what you're playing and how you're
Yes,
playing it. So
yes. I love that. And I find that people that are musical and artistic are highly, not only highly creative, but totally in the flow of the energy, much more than analytical left brain people. We love them. They're wonderful.
yeah.
But the creatives are very open to this flow because it's natural to us, right?
Yeah, and I think we just spend more time there.
We
It's just like
do. It's comfortable to us.
when you put on like a new jacket or something,
Yes,
a new color, and you're like, oh, I'm not sure, and you take it off, right? I think
yes.
they just need time to
I think
integrate it.
so.
Yeah.
And I think experiences, because I know with people that are very analytical, one of the things that they require, even more than us who are already immersed in it, is the direct experience of feeling it. Because once you have that experience yourself, you're more able to say, yeah, that was real. I really felt that. And I've had that experience with some clients who, were kind of skeptical when they met me and then not after, because they have to have that direct experience to know if it's real for them, which is
Yes,
is really powerful, I think.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So tell me something that you learned from your experience teaching children that you brought into what you do now. Because there's so many wonderful things with that, right?
There really is. I did not go to college or, say in my head, oh, I want to be a teacher. That was not in my, mindset at all. I just knew that I wanted to heal with my voice and singing. And I've always loved kids and young people. I always felt a calling to lead.
Wow.
And opportunity showed up. I was, in New York, I'm, doing my professional thing, auditioning and all that. And then when I came back to New Jersey, I literally got a phone call. It was like, we need someone to teach. What do you think? And I was like, nope, not doing it. They called
Yeah.
again. Nope, not doing it.
Uh-huh.
And then my mother was like, this could be a really great opportunity. You could create something that's amazing. Because it was a private school. And so I had more
Yeah.
leeway and more some flexibility. And so I said, yes, I leaned in. I said, I'll
Uh-huh.
give it a year. And it ended up being 14.
Yeah,
Um,
I get
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But, to really, my thing is, I loved being able to bring out the talent of someone, of the child, of the student, and say,
Hmm.
look at what you could do. I
Yes.
feel like every time you do that, you empower
Yes.
them.
Isn't that
They
exciting? Yes, I get
Yes,
that.
and then with
Oh,
every step, they just become more and more confident. And I think the stage is one of the most powerful places to do that. Like just to
yes.
stand on stage, learn how to walk on stage, learn how to walk off stage, learn
Yes.
how to
To
say your
presenting,
name.
body awareness.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, all of that. And I was fortunate enough over that time, like I was like developed a choir, an award-winning choir, award-winning musical theater program. I taught like speech 101 for
Oh,
the
that's
freshmen.
cool. Yeah.
It became this like really cool
Love that. Yeah.
as
A journey
like
of
yeah, like one thing after the other, one thing after the other until it was time to go.
Well, it reminded me, I had a student who was a selective mute, and I was teaching first grade that year, and she hadn't talked to anyone through like preschool, kindergarten, first grade. I had her in front of the classroom doing a book report in the first month of school, and here's how I did it. I told her to think of someone very confident that she saw on TV that she loved, like a performer. I said, you're going to be that person. I want you to go up and you're the performer, and you're going to perform your book report, and you're going to be that person while you're presenting. That kid got in front of the class, everybody's jaw dropped because she hadn't said one word since school started, and here she is like expounding about her book, and it was hysterical because no one could believe it. The mother called me, she goes, what the heck did you do? How did you get her to talk? And I just said, I just told her to step into her whatever she felt, like as an actress almost. And I met this little girl a couple of years later, and she couldn't stop talking. She was like, "Bup, bup, 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 bup." It was
Isn't that
beautiful.
amazing? You just opened her
Yes,
up like a rose. And
yes,
I've had that
yes.
experience over and over again. People showing up, signing up for my choir, never singing. And I was like, I don't care. There's a space here for them. For whatever reason, they need to be here. They can stand there and not sing. And then
Yes.
2 years, 3 years, all of a sudden you see them blossom and open up and do
Oh,
things
that's
they
beautiful.
never thought that they could do.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was in choir in high school. I don't have a great voice, but I love to sing.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. So I think that's a great experience for people.
I always felt choir was for everybody. Whether you thought you could sing or not, it was a space to grow.
That's it. To use your voice, to open up your voice chakra.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful. So let's go into like the next part here,
Sure.
which is what you do for your clients, because I know that you can accelerate growth by some of the techniques that you employ,
Yeah.
and the way that you do it is unique. So I want you to tell about the way that you can help to shift your clients and your experience with that.
So, what I have learned is that when I can help my client get in touch with their longing,
Mm,
when I can help them get in touch with the discontent, right? The things that are not
yes,
working and the
yes.
desires, they can understand it and
Hmm.
then they can change it. So it's an awareness. It's an understanding of when I become aware that this is something I would love to do, I can take steps to create it. When I become aware that this discontent I do not have to live with. I can
Yes.
create change.
Yes.
They can continue to take steps. And I find sometimes people don't feel like they have permission
Yes.
to
Yes.
to first get in touch with the longing and the
Yes.
discontent. I find, especially with my female clients, they they feel like they have a great life. They've
Yeah.
got everything, and
Yes.
sometimes they think, well, why do I want more? Or I shouldn't want
Yes.
more. I should be very grateful. I'm
Yes.
smart. I'm beautiful. I have the house.
Thinking
I have this.
small, thinking small.
Yeah. And what I love what my mentor teaches is that we wake up every day, we're breathing. And every single day is another day to expand. And
Mm-hmm.
if we're living and we're living full out into a life that we love, we're going to be called to continue to ascend
Absolutely.
and
I believe that.
expand
Yes.
and be the best version of us. It doesn't just stop at 30 or after
Yes.
the second kid
No.
or
No.
after you pay off the house. It just keeps going and
Going.
going and going.
I enjoy so much that you also have the growth mindset because I always believe that in life, if you're breathing, you should be growing. You should be
Yeah.
expanding, learning, allowing yourself the joy of doing what you need to do to
Yes.
bring your light into the world. Because I think our purpose, and I believe everybody has a purpose and a mission,
Yeah.
but people don't remember. And I think once you tap into your wish, your desire, and your internal compass, you can begin to notice like why you're here on earth and what you're supposed to be doing. And that's the growth mindset that keeps me moving. And
Yes.
I've made huge changes in the past year and couple months, and I'm continuing to do that because I know that it's part of my growth and part of my mission. And I
Yes.
know for people, change is scary, especially for women in my age group that are we're we're on like the last chapter here, but we're on the other end of the runway, but we got more time to go. It's really
Yeah.
scary. But again, like, do you let the fear stop you or do you move ahead? So that's a
Many people
question.
do. Many people
Yeah.
do.
Yep.
And I think fear is a great thing. It's a friend. It's a friend on
Yes.
our journey. It
Hmm.
keeps us from falling off the cliff. It keeps us from, touching the
Yeah.
flame
Just
on the
go,
fire.
man.
But it
Hmm.
doesn't drive the bus.
No.
Thank
Mm-mm.
you for being here, Fear. I love you so much. Give it a
Yeah.
big hug and kiss. Get in the back seat.
That's right. I really I love that. I remember taking your workshop, and that's one of the things I'm like, that's a great way to put it. It's like you're in the driver's seat, and that fear might be yelling at you in the back seat, like the back seat driver, to just say,
Yeah,
"Oh, watch out, be careful." Fine, thank you for your caution, but I got the wheel. I'm taking the
absolutely.
wheel here.
Yes.
So I think that was good, and I love. I remember writing down, consider, intuit, and decide. And that was from one of your courses that I had taken with you. And I thought that was a great way is like consider what you want, use your intuition and tap in, and then decide your next right action. And that's was really simple and powerful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So
So sorry, my dog is barking.
that's okay. I don't hear your dog, but my
Oh,
dog's
great.
quiet right now, but you might hear her if we get a delivery. That's what she loves to do. Okay. What are some of the things that help you stay grounded and centered in your own practice and in your own life?
Okay. Number one is nature, as you can see from my backdrop.
I know we got that too in common.
I love to be in nature. I love the quiet. I
Yeah.
love to hear the birds and all those quiet, like not quiet sounds, but the sounds of the forest and of nature that really are melodious to me.
Yes, me
Um,
too. It's so healing.
and and when I find that when I get quiet, like all of us, and I do teach this
Hmm.
to my clients, when you get quiet, you connect to the spirit within. You can hear
Hmm.
the whispers of God. You can
Hmm.
develop that connection, continue to deepen your connection with spirit
Yes.
as you grow. So nature, number one.
Yes.
Some more self-care. Things that I did not do 10, 15 years ago that I'm doing today. I go to the grocery store for whatever I need and I see beautiful flowers and I buy myself some flowers and I put them on the table
I've
and they
done
make
that.
me smile.
Yes.
Making a cup of tea, whether it's in the middle of the day or at the end of the night, I'm
Hmm.
just going to take 15, make a cup of tea. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to I have taken the push out of living, and I love that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, taking the push out of
That's
living for
perfect.
me is
Yes.
really, I think, a great self-care way of being. because if I am depleted, I'm no good to you, to my clients, to my
Absolutely.
family, to my
I,
neighbor.
I so resonate with that.
And
Yes.
again, I don't think, I was not taught that. Wasn't taught
No, we're
self-care,
taught
and
to
that's
push, push, push,
okay.
push.
And
Yes,
that's okay. Yeah. And then I was like,
yes,
I like this, but it took me a long time to A, understand what it was, and
yes.
B, how to integrate it into my life.
I,
And
I, I so agree, and I know, like, I was raised to be very the next right thing, to like really push yourself to the limit,
yeah,
kind of thing.
constantly
Get
pushing.
that A, and it's
Yeah.
still in there. Believe me, it's still in there.
Yeah.
But I've also learned as I've progressed through life that sometimes that push is not what we need. Sometimes it is that surrender. Sometimes it is the self-care. Sometimes it is the let's see what my spirit and my heart and my soul is telling me is the next thing to do. And that's a
Yes.
much more peaceful way to even be with ourselves, not like not beat ourselves up if we didn't, do that 99 things that we had on our list. Like to me, I've gotten rid of the list, years ago, threw out the list. Okay, what's the thing I have to do now? And that's
Yeah.
much more peaceful,
Yeah.
right?
And listening for the direction. And it's very
Absolutely.
quiet. It's like a whisper.
It's a
And it's like,
whisper.
oh, okay. I'm totally
Yes.
getting in touch with the whisper. So
Absolutely. And you know what? One of the things I teach my Reiki students when I train them is to use their body awareness. Sometimes
mhm.
if they're not completely tapped in and they're up in their brain here, they're so disconnected. So I teach them like how to use the sway test with their body instead of
Mhm.
using a pendulum or some other gizmo. You're using your own body awareness and heart center to
That's
guide
beautiful.
you better. And that's a lot more accurate than anything else that you can do once you
Yeah.
learn it. So that's one
Yeah.
of the things that, when I'm going to do my keynotes, that's one of the skills I'm going to teach is how to do that.
Beautiful.
So,
Beautiful.
yes. And I also love, like, since you did music, I always think of like what you do as harmonizing a person into their mission. So you're harmonizing people into their mission.
Yeah.
And that is, I understand that completely with the musical um, thing that, that resonated with me when I read that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Um, okay, challenges in your own life. I know that when you're on a healing path, we are often challenged with different things in our lives. And I know, like, I've had several through the years, and I think it takes a lot of courage sometimes when you are going through a difficult time. But I know when you're really tapped into spirit, or really tapped into prayer, or really tapped into what your heart's desire is, you could make it through a lot more than the average bear. So what are
Yeah.
some of the things that you're willing to share that you've been able to transform either or that have helped you stay your course? Anything you want to share is fine with me, or anything you don't want to share is fine. Whatever
Yeah.
you're comfortable with.
I come back, when I come back to this over and over again, and it's like if I knowing, a deep knowing
Yeah.
that I'm here for a purpose, and my purpose is unique to me as my thumbprint as yours is to yours, right?
Yes. Yes.
And knowing that I have this connection to God sometimes is all that I need, because when I'm faced
Mhm.
with something, and as we all have been faced with challenges over and over in our lives,
Yes.
it comes down to that.
Uh-huh.
So am I doing this, or am I doing what I know I'm supposed to be doing through the challenges and knowing God's got me? Like God's
Yes.
got me. And
Yes.
when I can relax, and now it's not always so easy,
Mm-mm.
but I come back to that mindset,
Yes.
and then I relax into that
Mm.
energy of
Yeah.
knowing. It's
Yes.
knowingness, right? And
Yes.
then that's kind of how I handle
I do the
many of my
same. Thank
challenges.
God. I'll tell you, I actually do the same. I always know that I'm protected. I've got my angels around me. I know, God's around me. And I think that's brought me through. And sometimes it annoys people that are negative in a way because it's like, oh, you're so happy. Like, what? You must have a perfect life. Well, no. There's a lot of stuff, but I think a lot of it is when you have that prayer as your backup and you really trust it, you know that you'll be brought through it, even though things are not easy. And I think that's like the core of who I am. And I thank God for my father especially was very prayerful, but dad and mom had a really strong center of knowing that God's got you. And I
Yeah.
think that's something that entered my brain, my head, and my heart as a child. And I thank God every day for them because that
Yeah.
was incredible to have that understanding. My grandmother too, my little Italian grandmother, she's always saying the rosary and
Yep.
the healing hands, and she always
Yep.
said, yeah, God's always there, and it just brought me such peace as a child too.
Yeah. And you know what has transformed for me, because I had a very similar upbringing, the grandmother, the
Yeah,
parents, is a shift, a little shift that I made in mindset. And when I began to do more of the life coaching, is
yeah,
I feel like I went from a wish, like praying with a wishing and a hoping, to praying with a knowing.
yeah, yeah.
There's a
It's a
difference.
deeper,
And
yes.
I, and it's like sitting down at a restaurant and ordering. Like you sit down and you order, I'm going to have 2 eggs with maybe some scallions and,
Hmm.
some potatoes and a cup of tea. And
Hmm.
the waitress is coming out with that in 15 minutes.
Yes,
It
yeah,
isn't,
the belief.
it's not
Yes,
please, wish,
yes.
it's
You
a
as if
knowing.
praying as if
And
you already have it.
I have so grateful that I was able to understand and shift my perspective with prayer and my relationship with God, and knowing it's not sitting, pleading, begging God. It's, okay,
No.
God, what's next? How can I
What's
serve?
next?
And
Yeah.
then, you hear back, well, what would you love?
What would you love? What
I
do you
would love,
resonate with?
I
Yeah.
would love to create this. And then
Yes.
you make the decision that you're going to do it.
There you
And
go.
then you take the step and you
Yes.
see things show up, doors
So
open, people
amazing.
step in, the resources are
Yes.
available, because
Yes.
it comes with, again, it's the relationship with your spirit.
Yes.
It's making the decision, and then it's taking that action step. And
I
and
absolutely
and
believe that.
everything around you starts to change.
It's you're
Everything.
giving me chilies because this is so how I believe. And I know, like, they called it law of attraction, but I was channeling law of attraction 20 years ago when my angels told me what it was. And I'm like, oh, that's what I've been doing all these years. I would kind of like pray and almost manifest something and it would show up. I'm like, that's amazing. That's amazing. And then they said, well, that's what this is. And then later that whole thing about law of attraction and acting as if that came out later. I'm like, oh, I've been doing that. I know what that is. But
This
it's
has been around since the beginning of
it's
time. This is
been
not
around for
new,
ages.
not new
You know,
information.
yes, I just think people needed that word for it later on to say, okay,
Yeah.
that's what this is, and this is how you do it. But that's really what it is. It's when you're acting as if you know God has you already, and it's already in the creative field, and you're just pulling it in, and you're
Yep.
resonating with it. Because if you don't resonate with it, and you don't have that heart-centered belief, it's just a thought. It's
Right.
not going to give you anything. It's not going to help you. It's really
Right.
just linking to God and that desire and that heart-centered feeling. That's what
Yeah,
really
we
powers
must become that vibration of
the
that which we're
vibration.
calling
Yes.
forth. Yeah.
Vibrational match, or else you call in junk that you don't want. It's like I always say, you go to the supermarket, you were saying, if you're really hungry, you'll pick up junk food and it's not good for you. Same thing in life, If you're not resonating with the right energy, you're going to pick up junk. It's gonna fill your life. So yeah, I certainly believe
And
that.
that's why it's really important to stand guard at the portal of our mind and really watch our thoughts, right?
Absolutely.
Thinking
Yes.
thoughts that are generative,
Yes.
staying in a vibration of gratitude,
Yes.
so
Gratitude's
important,
powerful. Yes.
shifts everything. It
It
really
does.
does.
It does. And even being grateful for the lessons, as hard as they can be in life, being grateful, like, what did I learn from this? What did I learn about myself? And it's not always nice to look at, like, oh gosh, what am I looking at myself, and you got that little shadow in there and something you have to face. But that's really how you shift out of pity and sadness and everything and into, like, how do I change things? What did I learn from this is a big lesson that I've always remembered for myself,
There
It's
is always good in every
wonderful.
situation.
There
There
is
is
good,
always good. You
even
might
when you
not
don't
see
see
it.
it.
You might
Hmm.
not see it in the very moment that it's happening.
Yes. After.
And right, give yourself 6 weeks, maybe even 6 months, sometimes a year, and you look back and you're like, wow, I'm so,
Yeah,
and
sometimes
then
a
you're
year.
and then you're grateful for the event, for the
Yes, and you don't
challenge.
even know. I
Yeah.
found that happen so many times in my life. It's like you're going through something really difficult, and the gift is when you go through it with faith it'll occur. And it doesn't just mean like, for anybody listening today, I know people have different backgrounds and faiths. So this isn't about like a certain religion. It's about being resonant with your soul's energy and with the universal field and with whoever you call your creator, God, the energy that is. And I think once you have that, you are very powerfully able to understand what you need. And I think that's why what you do is so cool because you and I are on board with bringing our clients through to this understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's go back to challenges. Is there any challenge that you feel you've helped your clients with the most? What do you find their main block? Because I have, I know with my clients what their block is when they come to me. Is there like a main block you see as like a lot of people are really struggling with this?
Yeah, well, yeah, a lot of people are struggling with taking the action step to truly live a life that lights them up. There's
Right.
all these
The action.
excuses that stop them. It's the
Yeah.
kids, it's the mortgage. Wait till I retire. It's wait, stop. And they have it's like a line of excuses,
Yes.
or living again, this isn't no finger
Yes.
pointing or living until you get to the pension or and it's like I find that with a lot of my clients, and when
Sad,
we
isn't
can
it?
kind of let go a lot of there's no right or wrong, like
No,
there's
I think
there's
it's when
no
you're ready. When
it's
you're
no
ready.
right or wrong, it's when you're ready. And um when we listen to the whispers of our heart,
Mm-hmm.
we stay aligned.
I
And when we
agree.
stay aligned and are doing the things in alignment of what our soul's purpose is at those particular moments in time within our life, because we all have different chapters and we all are called to do different
Yes.
things at
Yes.
different periods in our life. And when we are staying aligned and honoring that for ourselves, there's joy in that. And
I
when we
agree.
begin to press pause, hold, turn away, not listen, that's when the discontent shows up and
Yes.
the frustration and the anger and all of the stuff that goes with
Yes. All
it.
those low vibration, energetic thoughts can really pull you
Yeah.
down if you let them. That
Yeah.
is a beautiful thing. So I know that your business is the Clarity Coach. So how do people contact you, Lucia?
You can contact me. You can visit me at my website, claritycoaching.co.
Okay.
There is my phone number. There's an email.
Perfect.
You can click the link and say, let's have a conversation. So
Beautiful.
you can
Beautiful.
reach me those ways.
I love that. I love it. You've been such a fabulous guest, and I think you and I are so well aligned on our missions. It was really so cool to meet you and to talk to
Yes.
you and
Yes, lovely.
to explore your beautiful energy.
Thank
So we're
you.
coming up on the last few minutes of my show. And any last words that you want to share or something I didn't mention that you wanted to highlight today?
I'm just really super grateful for this opportunity. I'm glad that we,
Thank you.
met. I believe we met at the expo back in
We
March,
did. We did. That
and,
was fun.
and
Yes.
you came to the workshop and you asked me to be here, and I have nothing but
Love that.
profound gratitude. So thank you for
Oh,
having
thank
me.
you so much. You've been such a pleasure. This is the Lightwalker's Path. This is Rosemary DiTrolio. And please subscribe to my show, learn about my workshop sessions and books at rosemaryd.com, and follow the Lightwalker's Path. And please reach out to Lucia for her wonderful services. I can really verify that she's phenomenal and she does what she says she can do. So
Thank you.
I so am grateful for you. Thank you, Lucia.
You're welcome. Thanks so much.